I can have this impact to just, even if it's just one person, I had an impact to one person to change his life. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're live. We got Sib here, Oerlemans. No, was that right? Your surname?
Sybren Oerlemans. Yeah.
Is that like a Belgium name? Typical Belgium, or what is it?
Origin is like German Celtic,
Okay.
I guess.
Yeah.
But I was born in Belgium. My parents were born in Belgium. They just thought it was a cool name. So
Yeah. I'm so bad in pronouncing names. So every time I, like, especially when I read something, it's like, read the names, like, how do you pronounce that? I don't know. But yeah, anyway, it's a pleasure. It's an honor to have you as my second guest on a podcast.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here.
And for those of you who are watching the video, where are we? It's like, what is this place? Like, because you have to know, the first podcast I've done with Nick, like a good friend of mine from Switzerland, and we were at my place, and everything looked really nice.
Yeah.
And now we're like somewhere in Belgium in like a storage room, because that's like literally the only place we found like that spontaneously.
Yeah, was this or somewhere outside?
Yeah.
So.
But I guess it works. Let's see if someone comes in the door and interrupts.
Yeah, well, let's not hope so.
Yeah, I mean, the whole point of those podcasts are pretty much, I just want to talk with interesting people, and whether that's in a professional studio or in like a fucked up storage room, like, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we were talking about, like, we were talking with each other yesterday.
We were,
like, for a really long time. We were talking about like motorbikes.
Yeah, it started like really manly. Like, look at this car. Oh, that's cool. And then it just transformed into life deeper spiritual things. Yeah.
And then at some point I was like, oh man, like, why we're not recording this? Like, it's so interesting.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's the whole reason of this podcast, because I love having conversations, like conversations about life or business or whatever.
Yeah.
And I figured out, like, if you record that, if you have something that you can look back to and rewatch it and have those conversations again, it's just so interesting. And
yeah, definitely.
That's why I really wanted to start with those conversations.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah, tell me a little bit about yourself. Like,
oh gosh,
yeah, that's really hard.
Difficult
that's
question.
Like okay, let's not do that, because that's like this typical interview style. But we're not going to do it. Like, I know what you do, or I know who you are. I mean, we met back in like 2011 or something, like a long time ago, with Nico. Was that, or?
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know. I met you before
in England.
Did I meet you?
I think we met in England.
Shoot, yeah, very briefly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no, we did. But that wasn't 2011. That was like 2015 or 16, something like that.
Yeah. But anyway, then in earlier this year, I got in touch with Nico, because I was looking for someone who to join me on like a exploration adventure. Yeah. That's really cool. And he was telling me about you, that you're really into this stuff. Like, you're off, or you're exploring a lot of things. And you just told me yesterday you went to Chernobyl.
Yeah, I did.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was on my list for like a long time.
Yeah,
but I always said I'm not going to go there before I had children. Because I don't want to run that risk. Yeah. But like, I don't know. It's just like my dad wanted to go there and was like, you know what? I'm going to surprise him with like a trip to Chernobyl. So I told my mom I want to do that. And she was like, well, I kind of want to join as well. So it's like, okay.
Really?
Let's do it.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I contacted this guy that I know through a friend. Mm-hmm. And he just said, okay, I'll get every document like in order. So when we get to the checkpoint, you're like allowed in, because it's got 2 checkpoints.
Okay.
And like,
Yeah. How does that work with the checkpoints? Like, where do you fly to?
Kiev.
Kiev. Okay. Yeah. So that's the capital. And then you get a car to
the guy picked us up with a minivan.
Yeah.
But it was just us 3.
Okay.
So it was basically
private tour.
Yeah, private tour, which I like, because once you get in Chernobyl, you see like those massive coaches, like the massive buses with like 20 or 30 people.
Oh, really?
And then once you get to a location, like there's no way you can take a picture without some tourist on it. So
wow, so it became like a huge tourist attraction.
Not officially.
Yeah, not officially. Okay, but it's like, I mean, there are some main roads going into Chernobyl.
Well, there's the massive, like not the massive, but there's the main road, a typical Russian main road with like holes in the road, and you're like basically driving on the
like a
entire road.
warfield. It's not a road, it's a warfield. Yeah.
And then you get to there are 2 exclusion zones. There's a 30-kilometer exclusion zone and then the 10-kilometer exclusion zone. So the first one is like the biggest checkpoint. They check your passport, they check like the documents, but it's not with guns or anything. It's just okay, they're good to go, and then you go, and then you get into 30-kilometer exclusion zone, and you already start to see some small cottages, some small houses, and here and there like a small sign of radiation, but it's not that crazy over there because people still live there.
And that's how far away from the center?
Well, depending, like most of the times it's within 30 kilometers, but it could vary because like it's not a perfect circle. Radiation is not like a perfect circle, it's just like with the wind. So
makes sense.
So for example, you could be like 1 kilometer close to the reactor and have no radiation whatsoever, but then be on the other side, and then the wind would have carried the radiation that way, and then 20 kilometers that way, and then you would have more radiation than 1 kilometer. If that makes sense. It's explained difficult.
Yeah,
but
it makes sense with the wind, of course.
And then once you get closer, you get to the 10-kilometer exclusion zone. That's just like a guard. Oh, hey, can I see your documents? Okay, yeah. You can go in, and then you're in like Pripyat itself.
Wow.
Then you see like the buildings, and
that's amazing.
Yeah.
But so pretty much everyone can go there. Like you need to sign up for something.
No, I think there are some rules that like pregnant people, like pregnant women can't do it.
Any health problems or something.
Yeah, but basically if you, money talks. If you pay for it, you can go there.
How much does it cost?
Well, with the guide I did, and for 3 people, it was around 250 euros for 2 days. But that includes all the documents to be there, all the food as well. Because we had dinner and lunch.
That's so funny. It's like, come to Chernobyl. We organize a trip.
But,
you get food.
Seriously,
we organize everything.
We even had a hotel. In Chernobyl.
Where do you sleep? In Chernobyl.
In Chernobyl, yeah, we had a hotel.
But I mean, obviously, this hotel wasn't abandoned, or was it just some random room?
Like that's the thing, because like Pripyat, the city, the thing you see in the pictures, that is abandoned, but people are still working in Pripyat on the Chernobyl nuclear site. They just finished the sarcophagus, so now that is okay, and now they're gonna clean everything inside the the exploded reactor, and they're gonna demolish it and strip everything.
But isn't it that those people like they work there for like 3 weeks and then they have to get out for like another 3 weeks?
It's 2 weeks in, 2 weeks out, 2 weeks in, 2 weeks out, something like that.
That must be so scary that you know that it's not good for you to work here and you need to get out, otherwise you die.
It's crazy, but on the other hand, it pays so well.
I mean, I guess because you kind of pay with your life, or that's a big risk.
I can't remember the exact amount, but let's just say that in a week or so, you had like twice the amount of an average wage.
Yeah, wow. Yeah. But it's also it's really tough that you're like, okay, you want to get more money or you need more money, and the price you pay is your health.
Yeah, I mean, definitely.
Is it proven that it's really bad, or is it like you don't really know that?
I don't know. It all depends on what your actual job is.
Yeah.
Because they're cleaning the inside of the exploded reactor, but obviously they're not gonna send men inside. They're going to use machines, but I don't know. I'm not an expert on that.
Yeah.
The problem is that it's radiation. You can't see it, you can't feel it, you can't smell it.
Yeah, just don't know.
You can only read it on like one of the meters.
Oh man, that's so scary.
Yeah.
And how was it for you or for your parents as well when you were there? Like, did you ever know that, okay, this is not really good for you to be here?
My mom was terrified.
Yeah. I mean, because you just don't know. You know it's not good.
Yeah.
But that's it. You don't know how bad it is.
Yeah. But my dad basically loved it. So did I. But it's so weird to be there.
Yeah, I bet.
It's so weird. You've got this you've got this abandoned city, and you know people used to live there, and I don't know, when you get to this kindergarten, you see those small shoes, you see the small beds.
Everything is still there.
Yeah, and the craziest thing is basically that they didn't tell everyone right away that the reactor exploded, because they were like, the reactor didn't explode, it's just a fire. And it took them like an entire day to realize, oh, our reactor did explode. And there's massive radiation going out there. So
what happened to those people? Like,
they had to leave. They were told, you're going to leave for 3 days. In 3 days you can get back. So they just took some clothes and like some very valuable things.
Yeah.
And they got sent away to like Kiev or whatever. But they never were allowed to come back.
Yeah.
Like sometimes they came back to get some stuff. But obviously it was the Soviet Union back then. So once they got into the apartment, everything valuable was stripped away.
It was already away,
like the TV. And if it wasn't stripped away, you were going to take it with you. And you ran into some soldiers. They were like, you can't bring that TV.
That's mine now.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's so fucked up.
That's the craziest thing.
Like imagining everything you own and within 24 hours it's gone.
Yeah.
And you want to you come back and trying to get it, and you're not allowed. Like you need to start over.
It's crazy.
And especially in a place where people don't have that much anyway.
No, it was communism.
Yeah.
I mean, you just had the same as everyone else.
Wow.
It's just, the creepiest thing is just how the Soviet Union dealt with what was going on. They were trying to keep it hidden from the public.
Yeah.
And it's only because another country... Oh,
okay, now we've
got some visitors.
We've got some visitors. Hey.
Oh, hello.
You can take something if you're quick. Let's take it. Or, yeah.
Now our entire podcast is ruined.
No, it's not. I mean, we expected that.
Yeah.
We expected that.
No,
so
that's totally fine.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's totally fine.
If you're in a sketchy place like this,
of course, like
it's
not this fancy office.
No, see, there you go.
Yeah.
Maybe you should make this sign that says "recording inside" whenever you go somewhere.
Recording.
You just
it's
put
like
it
in
on
a
the
theater
outside.
play or something.
Yeah.
It's like it's recording. It's performance. Yeah. No, good. So yeah, where were we?
Just where like how the Soviet Union dealt with everything.
Yeah, they just didn't know.
Yeah, they just like,
it's crazy.
It's just all I can say is watch the show. HBO made the show.
True, you told me about that.
Obviously, it's a show, so it's not 100% like real or like exact.
Yeah, but it's probably pretty accurate.
Yes,
I guess.
Yes, accurate. That was a word I was looking for. Thank
that's
you.
a perfect word, right?
Yeah, but it's good.
Yeah, but like for me also when I explore abandoned places, it's always this feeling of like you're at the place and you exactly know that there were people living here or people were working here.
Yeah.
And it just feels so weird being there, knowing that, and now it's all of a sudden it's gone.
Yeah.
And especially when there's still stuff inside, like furniture and all this. It's like, what happened? Just everyone left.
It's crazy. The thing with me is that, like, okay, I like those small abandoned houses, but that's not my favorite urbex. The urbex locations I love are like those big, massive sites where you just get transported into another world. Like the world has gone to shit and it's a post-apocalyptic. I'll just wait for a second.
Yeah, sure. Don't worry.
That's totally okay. Now give us €5.
Yeah. All good.
The door. You guys can see it, but the door is closed. Boom, there we go. Alright, so, again, you get into this post-apocalyptic site where there's decay and nature is taking over again. That was a cool thing about Chernobyl, because no one is doing anything to preserve the places. You just have those streets, they're totally overgrown. It's like a jungle.
Nature just takes it back.
Yeah, and another thing that I love about urbex is that you can go to places where normally you wouldn't be allowed to be. So, did you ever run across a railroad track? doesn't it feel weird because you know, like, okay, normally you die if you stand
a train
here.
coming. Yeah. Like before you cross,
Yeah,
you're
it's
like,
so ominous.
pay attention.
It's like something is coming.
Yeah.
That's the feeling I get sometimes when doing urbex, when you're inside this abandoned location, especially big factories with like a big machine, and you know that, okay, like when this was still working, you'd stand here, you'd get shred to pieces.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's so cool to
just go there. Yeah. So before you were saying or talking about like how nature takes everything back.
Yeah.
And I actually, like years ago, I've seen this documentary about they were taking Cologne as an example, and they showed it how it would look like in like 10 years when there are no people, and
so
then
cool.
in 50 years, and it went up to 500 years or something.
So cool.
And the most interesting part is like even after 10 years, like the streets are like closed with with trees and all this.
Crazy.
After 50 years, even more, and then after 100 years, like most of the buildings you can't even see.
No.
And some of them they break.
Yeah.
And the most impressive thing, like the dome in Cologne, like the cathedral, after 500 years, they were saying it's still there. I mean, obviously, like the tower, like the highest part, would collapse.
Yeah.
But the other thing would still be there because they're saying like those old construction, because they're already so old, they also gonna last a lot longer.
Oh yeah, makes sense.
I mean, that's why the pyramids, they're still there. They're like 2,000 or 3,000 years old, and they're
crazy.
Still there. And that the same happens to like old construction in Cologne.
It is.
And that's really impressive.
But I guess that's why those films and series that are in post-apocalyptic worlds are so successful. Like I'm Legend or like zombie films, because you see, especially nowadays, like because Hollywood figured it out, but you see those cool cities. For example, I Am Legend has New York, and it's totally overgrown. You see Times Square with like grass up until like waist high.
No people.
Tunnels that are flooded. Yeah, exactly. No people. And it just, because it's so impossible to imagine, it looks so cool. And that's the thing that I love about urbex, because
exactly. Like, that's the thing with like an empty like factory.
Yeah.
You go in and it's this massive building and there's just no one.
Yeah.
And you know that before it was abandoned, like that probably never happened because they were working in shifts and it was always something going on, and noise. Yeah. That's another interesting part. Like you go to this place and you hear like the birds.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's just peaceful and quiet.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Actually, my favorite location that I've done up until now is probably an abandoned prison in the north of France. Wow. I was with Nico and Jasper. I don't know if you know him. He's like a good friend of Nico.
Okay.
But that was cool. First of all, we had to sneak in. There's hair in my eye, so it's so annoying. But we had to sneak in a prison. I mean, how do you get inside a prison? It's meant to keep people out, but also...
I mean, getting in is probably easier.
Yeah, somehow. So it's just like we ran around because we couldn't go through the front because there were lots of gypsies over there.
Okay.
They weren't really friendly.
Yeah.
So we couldn't like risk that with our camera gear. So we got to the back, and luckily for us, the fence was down.
Okay.
But obviously it's a prison. There's not just one fence. There's a wall as well.
It's such a challenge.
Yeah. But then, like again, that wall was smashed as well. There was a hole.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad, like someone did that. I don't know how, because it was like, I don't know, a meter thick.
Like a hand grenade.
Yeah, could be. I don't know.
I want to get into this prison. Or maybe it was even before it was closed. Like someone broke out.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But we got in.
Yeah, nice.
And then, like, we found this door that was unlocked, and then we actually got into like the main hall, and it was 3 floors or 5 floors even, with just prison doors everywhere, and like the typical like prison wing. And you could look into the cells and you realize that, oh damn, once upon a time there were like people inside those cells that weren't wanted out in public.
Yeah, but there we go. That's like another like that's this feeling you get. You were in this place, and there was something going on here, like and so many stories and crazy memories that are attached to this place,
especially in a prison.
Yeah, wow. I mean,
you don't want to be in a prison.
Yeah, these are bad people.
Yes, especially the highest security part, because obviously you've got the average cell, but that's just an average cell.
Yeah.
But once you did something wrong in prison, you were being sent towards maximum security.
Yeah.
And that's like a cell door, then another piece for a guard, and then like a typical bar cell door. And there was a window, but you couldn't look outside. It just was to get light inside of the cell. And you had no privacy at all. And if you wanted to go outside, you had to go into the corridor, go to the end, and then you got into this small outside area with walls 4 meters high and then like a fence on top of it. You couldn't look around. You could only see the sky.
Wow.
So imagine you get sentenced to life to a place like that.
Well, yeah, kids, it's not worth it to be criminals.
No,
like, not at all. And even if you get out, you're not going to be the same anymore.
Yeah. But
I mean, some people change in prison, like to a positive person, but most of them, they just stay criminals.
Yeah, some become criminals in prison.
But oh man, that's
unfortunately the place is demolished now.
Oh really? It's gone.
It's demolished. I don't know. There was a women part and a men's part. The men's part is demolished because last time I went there, they were demolishing it. I was like, shit. But we got into the women's part.
Okay.
And I think that's still there. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't been up to date with those things.
That's so crazy. Like I was telling you that already, that it's so interesting how in Belgium, especially, there are so many abandoned buildings.
It's crazy.
And in like Switzerland or even Austria, like most of the buildings that are abandoned, they just gonna take them away.
Yeah, I think the issue with most locations in Belgium is that they just don't know who the actual owner is, and they can't destroy it without permission of the owner or something like that.
Yeah,
or
I mean,
it's just also too massive.
It's also expensive to just take it down.
Because if, for example, if you take, well, I don't think I can say the name, but there's this massive factory in Belgium. It used to be the biggest factory in the world back in 1890, something like that. So for people that do urbex, kind of know which location I'm talking about. But they don't demolish it because it would just cost too much.
Yeah.
I've been there twice. I think for a total of like 10 hours. I still haven't seen half of it.
Wow.
That's absolutely crazy how big it is.
It's just too big to take it down, and because there's other space, they just build new things on
and often it's just filled with asbestos as well. Yeah. So cleaning it up would take like a special team. Otherwise,
it's just too expensive. Yeah.
So it's crazy.
Yeah.
But I don't mind. The more abandoned buildings,
it's interesting
the better.
To be there. Yeah. And it's interesting because like it's not legal to explore those places.
No, most of the times it's not.
But it's so interesting, and I like when I visit these kind of places, this is like really this appreciation in me. It's like it's really hard to describe actually.
Yeah, I get it.
It's you don't get that feeling anywhere else. It's just there.
Yeah.
And it's so worth it to see that, and it's like, oh my god, like people were living here and all of a sudden it's gone. Like that must be so crazy in Chernobyl.
Yeah.
It's like,
because that was from one day to another, and it wasn't even your fault.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're bad at managing money or something, you have to leave your house.
Yeah.
And then you kind of can see it coming. But over there, it was just like in the middle of the night, boom. And then people thought, oh, there's a fire.
Yeah.
But they were being told like, it's fine, you're going to be fine. And then the day after, all of a sudden, there were like 4,000 soldiers to keep peace and calm.
Yeah. Like 100,000 people having no home anymore.
And they just said like, okay, grab some stuff for 3 days. You're going to go away. We need to do some stuff over here. In 3 days, he'll be back. So everyone was like, okay, put some extra food for the dog, put some extra water.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's the crazy thing as well. All the dogs, all the cats, all the cows, all the animals, they were just...
I mean, they were pretty much just giving the people hope. So because they knew if they tell them they're not allowed to come back, it would take much longer for them to get out of here.
That, and I mean, some people would say no.
Yeah.
Imagine you're like 80 or 90 years old.
Yeah, of course.
And people say you have to leave your house and you can never come back because it's too dangerous here.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say, you know what? Go to hell. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to die in a couple of years anyway. Yeah. So I'm just going to do it in my own bed. And some people did. And 3 weeks later, they were dead.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
But
imagine you have to leave everything behind. You have to start over again. I mean, I would say it wouldn't be too hard, like especially if you live in a country like we do. It's kind of like, you know what you have to do. Like, you know what you have to do to get money. You know what or you still have friends and people you know that can help you out. But imagining like everyone in your town has the same problem. Like all your friends have the same issue. Like no one of them can help you out because they need to figure it out how they can help themselves.
Financially, in like with our life standard, we would be okay. Mm-hmm. We would be okay in another city. The problem is just the memories. It's your house. Yeah. It's your home. It's not just a building. It's your home. You get home and you feel safe. You've got the memories, like, oh, on that table we had those conversations. Oh, in my room I did that. I mean, let your fantasy do whatever you want, but it's your home.
Yeah.
And then the same with like pictures. Maybe you can't bring pictures because they're too contaminated or something. I mean, especially you're a creator, you know how awesome it is to rewatch footage or like another picture and you're like, oh yeah, that story. Imagine leaving that all behind.
Wow. Yeah.
And never being able to like, of course you have your memory.
It's not the same.
Yeah. And some even lose that.
You forget a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's why I like to upload anything because it stays there forever.
Yeah.
Unless Instagram or YouTube is gone.
Yeah.
But that's definitely helpful. But back in the days, like, don't have those opportunities.
No, back in 1986 with Chernobyl, they didn't have YouTube. So,
wow.
How are you gonna find it back? But,
I mean, that's
crazy.
That's the saddest thing. Like, just this thing came to my mind where I was in Paris a couple of years ago, and my camera got stolen, and it was this. We did this trip to Lis and Evry, and we had such a sick time there.
Hold on, you said Lis, and then your accent became like a little bit French.
Lis and Evry. Yeah,
that was quite funny. Sorry.
Evry. Okay, Lis and Evry.
Yeah.
Proper English pronunciation. But so it was like 6 days in this trip, and obviously I already filmed a lot of things. I kept a lot of memories, and then the camera got stolen. And I mean, it was like a 1,000 euro worth camera, and it was gone. And it's like the money didn't really bother me.
Yeah.
It was more about what was on the memory card. Yeah. It's like the whole trip is just gone.
Yeah.
Like I can't remember anything to that trip because there's no footage, there's no video.
Yeah.
I just know the camera got stolen and a lot of things went down from there. But yeah.
I know the feeling. Sad. Before the podcast started, I was telling you about my stuff that got stolen. Mm-hmm. A couple of years ago in 2015, I was on a motorcycle road trip from Belgium to Stockholm, Sweden, and then back. And so I was on a motorcycle, a friend of mine was on a motorcycle, and then someone else was in a mobile home. And so every night we would meet up and all our stuff would be in that car. And we're on our way back, and we're in Malmö, something like that, the city in Sweden. And we're in a restaurant, and it's like, is anyone with the mobile home? It's like, no. It's like, shit. So we're going back. And I look at the window and it's smashed. And I'm like, fuck this. So I get in and they open one cabinet. That was mine.
Wow.
Because I'm quite organized and I put everything inside the cabinet so I can find it. And what was in there? That was my laptop, my camera, my new lens, my headphones. So like
everything.
A combined total of like 3,000 euros, which sucks because like I'm not a very rich guy. But then again, it's money. I recovered from that. The thing I didn't really recover from is that I also had an external hard drive with 1 terabyte of footage.
Oh, man.
And stupid me, I didn't have a backup of that thing. And so everything from when I was like 9 years old up until 20 years old, all that footage, shook, gone.
Like,
And that's the thing that hit me the most. I was so depressed from that.
yeah, wow.
So yeah.
Like imagining you meet the thief of that stuff. Like you would probably, you would probably pay him to give back at least the footage. Like he can keep the rest. I wouldn't pay him.
I would force him.
I mean, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
We were, because I had this big hunting knife. I put it on my motorcycle and I was driving around the city with the knife visible. So stupid, I know, but I was so angry. And if I saw that guy, there's a small chance. My goodness, I don't know what I would have done, but I would have taken all my stuff back.
Yeah. I was the same in Paris. Like after that happened, we were training at this spot and literally for like 2 minutes, we went a little bit up.
Yeah.
And we didn't see the bags. And someone has probably seen me like putting the camera there and he got it within like 2 minutes. And after that, I literally went down to the street and like I ran around and was trying to find this bag. And I mean, I was 17 back then.
Oh,
and
damn.
I mean, I was never violent or anything, but I had this like really aggressive like thing in me. And like, if I've seen him, like just, I don't know, jumped on him, just
it's your stuff.
Take it back. It's my stuff. Like, why would
yours.
You do that? Yeah.
I mean, like, sure, I get it. When you're like homeless and you don't have food, you steal an apple or something like that. I get that.
But I'm not sure about that because there are a lot of homeless people or people that don't have a lot, and they are the nicest people.
Yeah. I'm not saying homeless people do that, but I get when you're like extremely hungry and you have no means that you have to resort to that.
Yeah.
But stealing a camera bag,
I mean, it's
just don't, man. Just don't touch stuff.
It's really hard because like you don't want to hurt people.
Oh, but back then I wanted to.
No, I mean, like you don't want to hurt people in a sense of like you don't want to steal from people because they worked to get this kind of stuff, and it's so easy to steal something and then to sell it, and you get money. But I would just feel so bad, like
especially like I would be totally, no, not totally, but like partially fine if I met the thief and he said, I'm going to keep all your stuff, but I'm going to give you back the external hard drive. Let's take a copy of it and then take it. I mean, in that scenario, I would be like, no, I don't want to, but at least I got the footage back. That's all I wanted. I wanted to have those memories back. I had videos of my best friend and I just horsing around and doing stupid stuff when we were like 14 years old.
Wow. Yeah.
You're never going to be able to get that back. And that's
crazy. Yeah. I mean, it's such an interesting point how we keep memories these days. And it's so much stronger. Yeah. Because like back in the days, like my parents, they have like photo albums. Yeah. That's really cool. But it's by far not the same as having a video. Yeah. Like a video with audio and everything is so strong. Like those memories are so strong.
It is.
And that's why I love it. Like the parkour videos I created back in the days, or I still do. It's like those memories, like they're gonna last forever. And every time you watch back or you watch an old video, you're like, it takes you back to that trip, takes you back 10 years and like, wow, that trip was amazing.
But it's even for people that weren't part of that trip, because I've got these videos from when I was younger, from like 2010, 2011, something like that, from Will Sutton, Daniel Elabaka, or like the first videos of Stora, that just like put me in a good mood. And like, okay, I want to train now. Yeah. And now that I'm like, 8 years older, I watch them again. I'm like, oh, I didn't know anything about life back then. But shit, I want to train. And it's just a trip to nostalgia, even though you weren't part of that trip or part of that video. So it's fun to rewatch your own footage, but it could mean the same thing in another way for someone else. Yeah. And that's the thing I also like about creating. Like,
yeah, true. Yeah. And like that's a little issue that I have, that nowadays it seems like a lot of people are creating content for likes.
Yeah.
Like they don't get the point of creating content for memories.
Yeah.
And to keep them as memories.
I mean, likes work addictive. I like when people like my pictures. I love it.
It's a good feeling.
And up until a certain point, if you want to make a living out of it, you need likes, you need attention. But because I did vlogs for a while, including 1 month of daily vlogs, it's so difficult to stay authentic and film what you want to do, and do what you want to do, and not like, oh, what's the craziest thing now? Maybe I could do this. It's not really funny, but it gets views. And then you get sucked into this thing like, I'm going to do it for the vlog, and not because you want it.
Yeah. That's
and
the hardest
luckily
part.
I never got into that because, I mean, I wasn't interesting enough. I've got a small 500 subscribers. That's not that crazy. So my vlogs are me.
Yeah.
And it's what I want to do.
Exactly. But that's so much more important.
Yeah.
Because you probably still inspired some people.
I met a couple of people so far. They were like, oh man, that's so fun. Like you inspired me to do that. And it's on a small scale. Because I know them in real life. I never met someone that knows me through YouTube.
Nice.
But for example, on Erasmus, I've gotten really close to 2 girls. So pretty dirty people you're gonna think about, but but we got really close. Like they're really good friends, and because I was already at like 150 vlogs when I met them. They watched all of them.
Seriously?
Yes.
Wow.
Because they were like, oh my god, this is so much fun, and they watched all of them.
Yeah.
And that's crazy.
I mean, even just think about how much time. Like how much of their time they give you to watch that.
It's ridiculous. And then when I uploaded a new vlog, because they subscribed, but they also turn on the notifications, so they get an email. And so we were in this group chat, and all of a sudden I get like a screenshot. Oh my god, you uploaded a new video! And it's like,
nice.
Oh my god, it makes my day. And I was like, well, relax, it's just a video. Yeah, you don't understand. It's fun for us.
But I think this is what people forget. Like it's so much more important to have this. Even if it's just one person that is obsessed with your content, that gets inspired every time you post something. Like that's when you can have this kind of impact. It's so much more. It's so much more important than having 1,000 likes.
Yeah.
Like for example, in 2016 and 17, in 2016, I gave up my apartment and I started to travel. I was living in my car.
That's when I met you.
Could be possible.
We were going on a massive trip.
And then like a year later, like I created some videos and they did okay, but not very, very well. But that was not the reason why I did them. And like 1 year later, someone messaged me and he was like, hey, I've seen your videos. Like when you started, I followed them and I followed your adventure and everything. And you inspired me so much that I also gave up my apartment and did the same. And he was just being really grateful that I showed him this. And he said that this was probably the best decision he has ever made in his life. And for me, it was like, oh my God, like I can have this impact to just, even if it's just one person, I had an impact to one person to change his life, to make his life better. And that's all I need. And then I can say it was worth it to create videos for 2 years. Like it takes one person.
It's just so awesome.
That's it.
It's just so awesome. I mean, like I said it yesterday as well, you've been my inspiration for a couple of years.
Yes.
So that's why I love these jams as well, because you get to train with your like inspirations. The same for your storytelling, your videos. I watched them years ago and it's like, damn, I like this. But that's the thing for some YouTubers as well. In 2011, I was going through a very dark time in my life. Something happened, and I was just basically not officially depressed, but just very unhappy.
Yeah, just.
And the thing I would do when I got home, I was like, I would turn on YouTube and watch some videos. And there were a couple of YouTubers that I still watch today, almost every day.
Yeah.
And just their content made me like
feel
like
good.
this, relaxed.
Yeah.
Relaxed. It was just like during the day I was like, fuck yeah, tonight I'm gonna watch like that video.
Yes. And it gave you energy and.
Yeah, it's just, and if I ever meet them, I'm just gonna say like thank you for that.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that should be like one of your main goals for creating, like inspiring and helping people in some way, and not just money or likes.
You know what you should do?
I know.
Message every creator, just send them a DM, whatever.
Yeah,
say thank you.
Could be.
Like that's like when I get these kind of messages, like I'm so grateful. And those people inspire me or motivate me to do even more. Yeah. Because I know I had an impact on something, on someone.
Yeah. Could be like.
So it's.
Maybe there's a small chance I reached them. Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, you never know. You should try. You don't know unless you tried.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that when I get home.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, you never know, but it's good and it helps them as well.
Yeah, I guess so because they're professional YouTubers, and I actually don't think it's an easy life. I don't think it's an easy life because I know the one YouTuber I still follow. He works really hard. He uploads like 5 videos a day because it's a gamer. Okay. He's got multiple like videos going on at the same time, and he sometimes he gets so many backlash like you suck, you're not good at this game. It's like it's gotta be so hard to stay motivated once you get that.
But you know, like he's at the point, like he's still creating. He doesn't listen to those people.
No, not at all.
If he would listen to those people, he would have stopped. Yeah. For a long time already.
And because I've been following him since 2010.
Oh, wow.
It's 9 years.
It's 9 years.
Yeah. I've seen, because he was always very open with his subscribers. And I've seen him go from this, I don't know, 17-year-old kid playing games in his own room when he was still living with his parents to a massive villa in Florida with like an infinity pool, 2 awesome dogs, or even 3. Oh, there's another person. Oh, that's okay. With a beautiful girlfriend. And it didn't change him because I also saw him go through 2 other houses, and they were just normal houses, and he was just as happy with them as he is with his mansion, with his big villa. Yeah, he's just as happy with his truck that he bought when he was 15 years old. That he bought with money from like doing the dishes in a restaurant, like working really hard in Pizza Hut or something. And he still has the truck, and he's equally happy with that one as he is with his Nissan GTR. So obviously if you make enough money, like you can buy those things. Totally fine. You don't have to live like a nomad if you're a millionaire. But he doesn't show around with them. He's just
that's awesome because it's his passion.
Yeah,
like, that's why he's doing it.
Yeah,
and like I always feel like money really reveals who you are, who you actually are.
Yes,
and for those people who are still the same, like they're just doing their passion. They do what they love and they keep doing it, and then it's just a matter of time until they are successful and good, and they are only that great in what they do because they truly love it.
It is. If you're in it only for the money, eventually you will get discouraged.
Yeah, no, I mean, ask around. Like most successful people, they just did what they loved.
The thing is, still love. Because yesterday I told you about that book that I'm reading, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And he says that he wanted to be a musician, like a rock star, you know, be on the stage. Yeah. And then he had his life totally planned out. He would learn to play this instrument and then started songwriting, and he was going to, and he was going to, and he was going to, and all of a sudden he was 30 years old and he was still not a rock star. And then he realized that he was only in love with the end, with the product,
with the lifestyle,
but not with the progress, not with everything going on before that, the endless hours of songwriting that eventually turns into a shit song.
Yeah.
And he realized that in order to achieve something great, you have to love this, like the suckiness of it.
Yeah.
You need to love the bad part, the suffering. You need to embrace it. Otherwise, you're not gonna make it.
Totally
if you want to be a professional athlete, you need to love the suffering and the working out and the fuck, my entire body is sore, and working to get away from injuries. You need to love all of that in order to be a successful athlete. And that's what a lot of people forget.
Totally makes sense.
Yeah.
And I also feel like that's especially nowadays the problem with whole social media, that you see those successful people having all these expensive cars or whatever, but you don't see what kind of work that is behind all this. Yeah,
but it's also the thing. It's so easy to look successful and rich and happy on social media.
Yeah.
Like, for example, my friends, like some friends that I don't see a lot, when I see them in Belgium, they're like, oh, you're not traveling? I'm like, no. Oh, because like it seems you're always away. And like they think that I'm always traveling.
Yeah.
Which is not the case. I take pictures during summer and then I upload them on Instagram like in the couple of months after that. So not to give the impression that I'm traveling, but some people do think that. And that's why it's so easy to make people think that, oh, look at me, I'm so happy.
Yeah. But that's not the truth.
You can't be.
But I mean, it makes sense. Why would you post a picture where you're sad, unless you try to get people's attention?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but I know I just edit my pictures and then post them later.
Yeah.
Because, like, I went to Chernobyl. I took like 200 pictures. Maybe 30 of them are good.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna post all 30 of them in the same day.
Yeah, of course.
I'm gonna spread it out a bit. But it's just content.
I mean, you post your memories.
Yeah.
And you post the good memories.
Yeah.
Because the bad stuff that happened, like, leave it behind. Like, doesn't matter. No one is interested in that.
No.
But it's also the problem for the people who see you. Like, I mean, obviously, for example, when I see your content, I'm like super happy for you. Like, he's been there and he's done that. But unfortunately, there are a lot of people, they are like, he can always go to those places.
Yeah.
And I've been actually struggling with that. Like this summer, for example, I've done a lot of really amazing things.
Yeah.
Like I literally can say, hey, my life is so good right now.
Yeah.
And then when I post this kind of stuff, I'm like, I don't want to make people jealous. I much rather want to show them like, hey, look, I do great things, but you can do those things as well. I want to inspire them. But sometimes it's so hard. Like if you can post, or if you experience, like every day you experience something really great and you post about that, it looks like, oh my God, it's perfect.
Yeah.
And well, it is kind of perfect, but I don't want to make them jealous. I just want to inspire them and show, hey, everything I do, I started on zero as well. Like I got there. I just worked for it. Like I've been doing this for 12 years.
Yeah, people forget that.
Yeah, people forget that. I've been trying to get work through parkour, through video making, like for 12 years.
Yeah.
And now over the past couple of years, I got to a point where I can actually afford it and do it.
Yeah. Because when I met you back in 2015 or 2016, you were on that trip. You were sleeping in your car or with people in their house. Because you were like a free runner. Like it's quite easy to find a place to sleep. Mm-hmm. But it's not like you went to like, oh, okay, I'm going to stay in this Hilton tonight and have a pool and have my own waiter and like room service.
But that's really interesting now you say that, because I loved to do that.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you said before. Like as an athlete, you need to love the
Suffering.
training and suffering. And for me, it was the same. Like for someone else, it would have been like horrible to sleep on someone's floor with 10 other free runners.
That's awesome.
But for me, it's like, oh my God, it's so exciting.
Yeah.
And that's why I could do it. And it was no problem for me.
When I went to New York, I had like, because my parents helped me a little bit, because it was right after my birthday and they paid a little bit with the hotel room.
Yeah.
So I had like a perfect hotel room with a view on Times Square.
Oh, wow.
But I would have been equally happy if I just would have like some other place with a roof over my head and just a safe place for my camera stuff. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all I need, like a safe place for my camera gear. Other than that, I don't care. I did some wild camping in London. I slept in a tent in some sketchy park in London. I loved it. I don't need like a fancy hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, like, this is actually a great example. If you stay in some sketchy park in London, like these are the memories, or these are the moments that create the real memories. Like staying in the hotels. Like, do you have any good memories from staying in a hotel?
Yeah, but it involves people of the other gender.
All right, I get that. Yeah.
No, I get it because it's average. It's just a hotel room.
Yeah, just go there and sleep.
Yeah,
okay, that's
so
it.
That hotel room either has to be absolutely amazing, and like really crazy, like it blows your mind. Because like an average hotel room is like, it's got a bathroom, it's got a bed.
Yeah, that's it. But I had nights in Costa Rica, for example, we slept on the beach, but there were a lot of crabs on the beach. So we had a tarp that we slept on, and we rolled up the sides
so they couldn't get
in. And we were sleeping like in the beach, surrounded by crabs. And that was like, I mean, I slept very well.
Yeah.
And I mean, there were a lot of nights where I slept well, but this night I just remembered really well because it was this struggle before that. And it was a good memory.
Dude, that's the thing. Sometimes I sleep in such bad conditions because like I wouldn't want to live on a beach for the rest of my life, like sleep on a beach for the rest of my life. But during traveling, it's totally okay because it's just fun.
I mean, you're going on an adventure.
Yeah.
Like that's the whole point of traveling. Yeah. You're going on an adventure to learn something. And I've been traveling a lot. So as you.
I try.
And you can also say that most of the life experience comes from traveling and meeting new people.
Yes.
And hearing those stories.
Yes.
It's not from sitting around at home and watching TV.
No. You can. A great example. Have you ever seen the film Good Will Hunting?
I think I did. Yeah.
It's with Matt Damon and Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Basically, Matt Damon's a very smart kid, but he's got some problems, and Robin Williams is like tutoring him, like guiding him, and Robin Williams had made a painting. And Matt Damon like totally broke it down. It's like, that sucks. And then there's this great speech by Robin Williams where he explains to Matt Damon that he might have knowledge, but he doesn't know anything about the world. You might read about the Sistine Chapel, but you won't realize how cool it is up until you get in there. You see the painting, you can smell the building. So you can read about stuff, you can watch videos about it, and you can be a book smart, but you're actually really smart and you only have real knowledge once you actually go out and venture and try stuff and go through disappointments. That's when you learn, and that's when you know how you react to certain situations. So that's my opinion.
That's true.
On that.
That's really interesting, because I actually had this situation this summer as well. Like, I was hanging out with some people that I didn't know before, and really quick I started to realize like those people are really smart. Like they've been studying for years, and I just felt kind of like, oh man, I'm dumbass here. But something was there where I'm like, hey, they are smart. Like I can't really take part on their conversations, but I know that experience-wise, like I know a lot of things as well, which includes just experiences. Like I couldn't tell them some really smart things about culture or whatever, but I have the experience which for me is way more important because I can, like, this describes who I am.
Yeah.
And knowledge is like, yeah, fair enough. Like I'm not that smart, but
No, you're not. No, sorry.
But I know that, I mean, I go through life. I know what to do, and it's enough for me.
Yeah. Same when I was on Erasmus. I impressed some people with my knowledge about languages.
Oh, nice.
They thought I spoke like 7 languages.
Yeah.
That's not. It's just because I went to a couple of countries already, and then you start to pick up some words, and then you meet someone from that country, and you're like, oh, tervetuloa. And they're like, what? You speak my language? It's like, no, I just went there a couple of years ago, and that's a word they often said. And it's like,
nice.
So that's just that's the thing. When you travel, you need to get by, and you need to, especially if you travel alone, you can only count on yourself. So you need to get stuff in order. You need to wake up and like, okay, now I need to find food. Now I need to find shelter or whatever. And then sometimes you're forced to learn certain aspects of the language, and that's how you acquire knowledge, because you have to. You
have no other choice. Yeah. But I think this is also where it gets really interesting, and I often compare that with parkour. That if you face a problem, like in parkour, you break that down. You have this jump, and you break it down. Like, okay, what do you have to do? Like you start with small steps, and it's the same with life. Like if you face a problem, just don't say, "Oh, I can't do this. Like this problem is too big." Like rather break it down and think about, okay, what are the steps that are required? And then all of a sudden it becomes easy. And if you get to a point where you start to realize that, okay, actually it's simple to face a problem if you think logically. And I think this is what I learned through traveling, that at some point you can do everything. Like you went through a lot of shit in the past, and you can achieve everything. Just take it easy, think about the steps you have to do, and do it logically.
That's it.
And once you get into this mindset, you get a lot more powerful. And that's really amazing.
I also realized that I'm a lot calmer when I'm traveling alone. If I run into a certain problem when I travel on my own, it's like, I'll be okay. I mean, but when I'm with people and like, oh, now there are people involved. Okay, we need to like get this problem sorted. And it's like, fuck.
But that's probably because when you're traveling alone, you know that it's your fault. And if you accept that, like even if you travel with other people, if you can tell yourself, okay, it's my fault. Like don't blame someone else. It's just your fault. And then, okay, what can I do about that?
And even if it's someone else's fault, don't be all angry at them. Just like, we'll get this okay.
It's your fault because you took this person on your trip.
In some way.
We can break it down like this. So for those of you who are watching, we probably just did the cut because there are people interrupting, because we're in this ghetto place. But
but wait. Oh yeah, for example, one of the things I dread the most when I'm traveling and I have to fly is that I miss my flight. But if it were to happen, I would want it to happen when I'm traveling on my own, because it's just yourself you need to take care of. If you can hitchhike, it's totally fine. You just hitchhike. If you have to sleep at the airport, I don't care. I just find a bench or like a good spot near the sockets where I can at least be on my phone or something like that. And I just wait up for the next flight. But if you're with like a group of friends,
it's so much harder.
It's such a big problem, because some people might not take it as chill as you would, and they would like freak out or be angry or whatever, and then it's so difficult.
Yeah, man, that's like, I bring up that story so many times, but back in 2014 when I went on the Jepson tour with the Stora guys, it's like we were 12 people traveling around America for 5 weeks.
Oh, is that? Oh, the
with
Jepson
Nico as well. Jepson
okay.
tour.
Oh,
And,
I love that video.
Like 12 people, we had one van, which was a 12-seater.
Oh.
So we were 12 people in this van, and the luggage was like, there was no space for luggage pretty much. So it was like this small van, every one of us inside with the bags. There was no room for 5 weeks. And the most interesting part about this trip was that we got along so well.
Yeah.
Like there was never a problem between us.
That's crazy.
And that's so interesting because we all had the same mindset. We just wanted to go on an adventure. We want to experience something. And there were like 1 or 2 people that guided us, that were saying, okay, we're going to do this and then this. And everyone else was like, okay, just follow.
Yeah.
And it was so easy.
Yeah.
And then there was also this one situation that taught me so much. We were in Los Angeles. It was already evening and we had nothing to sleep. And we were 12 people, and find something for 12 people to stay. And obviously we didn't want to book a hotel or anything.
Yeah.
And I was like me as a Swiss person, which plans everything and or used to plan everything. I'm like, hey guys, we don't have anything to stay yet. And then I asked them like at 10 or at 9 p.m. like, hey guys, do we have something? Like it gets late. And they were like, no, but we'll find something. Okay.
But is anyone doing anything?
And then we actually found something.
What did you find?
We found like 3 different guys that could host us.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So it was fine. And I was like, why did I worry so much?
Yeah.
Like I didn't actually know if we have to sleep on the street or whatever. And it turned out fine.
Yeah.
And it was funny that in the end, we created this term called YIP, or it's just this word like YIB. YIP.
YIB, yeah.
And the definition for it is that everything you do, doesn't matter how bad it is or how good it is, everything is a yip, because in the end it's just a memory.
Yeah.
And the best memory are created when you went through a shit situation, because then you're like, oh man, like when I was in this situation it was really bad.
Yeah.
But now it's like, oh man, it was kind of funny being like sleeping in the rain in this cave or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like everything is a yip. Like let's just yip it. Let's just do it.
That video, that Jepson tour video is one of my favorite.
Yeah.
I've showed it to so many
awesome
people.
Memories.
Crazy.
I need to watch it again.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it when I get home.
Yeah.
It's like massive like marketing for Stora right now.
Yeah, right. I'm actually gonna put a link in the description.
Everyone should definitely watch that video.
Yeah. So good.
But it's the same in their other one when they went to Thailand. Have you seen that one?
Wow, yeah.
There's this where they climb the mountain and they're watching the sunset. And all of a sudden they realize it's a sunset.
It's dark.
So when the sun is set, it's dark.
But that's the perfect yip situation. Yeah. Because they almost died.
Yes.
Like they were dehydrated and everything. But
eventually they made it back.
They're still alive. They made it back. And because they all went through this, oh damn, now we need to work. We're stuck on a mountain. Yeah.
Now we need to work together. Otherwise, like, we're gonna like be in massive trouble. Because they were on a deserted island as well. But eventually they made it back, and because they all worked together, it was just like, oh, this is awesome. And like, I haven't been through that exact same situation, but I've been through certain things, especially when I went urbexing, for example, again, and there's security, and you're like, oh damn, now we need to work together and like sneak around and then eventually make it out. Like,
but these are how adventure or memories are created.
Yeah.
By experience something what's the word? Extraordinary, exactly. Something unusual, something different.
I mean, you often have it. That's where you go through something and like, oh, within a week this is gonna be funny. Now it sucks.
Yeah.
But in a week this is gonna be a good story.
And it's such a good motivation actually.
Yeah, it's like,
because like, oh man, I really don't want to be in this situation,
Yeah.
but it's gonna be a good memory. Okay, let's do it.
Dude, that's the perfect thing.
That's a really good push for yourself. Like next time you're in a, or for those who will listen or watch, next time you're in a shit situation, just think about. In the end, it's just going to be an amazing memory, something that you can look back to and just laugh.
Hopefully. It's not
unless you die, then it just sucks.
Oh, this got dark very quickly.
Okay. But that's actually the only thing where it's not a yip if you die.
Yeah, of course.
Because it's not fun.
No.
Yeah, it sucks.
But yeah, that's the thing, man. When you talk with people that travel to multiple countries, especially countries that weren't in your culture, that's when you learn the most. Because I've traveled around Europe. This is Europe. I mean, I'm totally safe. But I've been to China as well.
Yeah.
And mentality over there is totally different. I approached a police officer to find a way. He just made it very clear that I had to turn around and go the other way, or I would get hurt or something like that.
Wow.
And that's when I realized, like, okay, police over here is not.
Yeah, it's
they're
different.
They're not here to help me. They're here to like maintain order.
Yeah.
And that's when you travel to like other countries, other cultures. I was speaking to a Colombian that was visiting Berlin, and he said, "Oh man, Europe is so safe." I'm like, "Yeah, why?" Well, I can just walk around on the street at night with my phone out, and nothing happens. Yeah. And I'm like, hold on, it's Colombia, I can't do that. It's like, no, if I do that, the minute I walk alone, not even with my phone, but when I walk alone on the street, someone stabs me or shoots me, then takes my stuff. They don't ask. They just stab and shoot, take it.
It's so ridiculous. Like, it's so normal to us.
Yeah.
And as soon as you start traveling and hearing those stories, you're like, wow, okay, actually, I need to appreciate that I just can go out at night and walk around by my own.
And not even that. Let's take our nature. I'm in Belgium. What's the worst thing that can happen? We've got like a couple of wolves. They're not going to attack me. No way. So a wild boar, like a pig. Yeah, that's dangerous, but I mean, I climb a tree and it's fine.
Yeah.
But then you hear stories about Australians. They're like, oh, never turn a rock.
Yeah.
Why? Because it could be snakes or like spiders as big as your hand. It's like, what? I can put my hand under any rock in Belgium. Yeah. Nothing is gonna happen. So if you go to Australia or any other country like Canada, you can't just roam around in the woods because there might be a grizzly bear. I mean,
actually, like when I was in Australia, we explored this like little cave.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden one guy said like, hey guys, did you know that like there are only 2% of all spiders are poisonous, but most of them are living in Australia. Like, all right, thank you. There are a lot of spiders in here.
It's so crazy. Yeah. I once read somewhere, and I'm not an expert, but I think it was like 21 out of 25 most dangerous snake species live in Australia.
It's insane, yeah.
It's like, okay.
But still, like when you know, like there are people living in Australia because they know you shouldn't turn around the rock.
Yeah, or go to the toilet.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, if you know these kind of things,
it's just
you're good.
changing your mentality a bit.
Exactly.
It's
you
like
just need
a
to
routine
adapt.
that needs to change. Like, I mean, in Belgium, I also don't just put my hand on the rocks.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, you just need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, exactly. But that's why, in my opinion, it's so important to explore new places and like experience those different cultures and
makes you look at life in a different way.
Yeah, exactly. Because everything looks different outside of your house.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. It creates the stories.
In one of your videos, you even say that go on an adventure. And then you proceed to say, like, it doesn't have to be like traveling to a distant country. It can just mean you leaving your house. Like, I've had crazy adventures in the woods, like 1 kilometer away from my house.
Yeah, it's more about breaking out of the daily routines.
Yes.
Do something that is unusual.
Yeah.
Something new, and
Yeah.
learn something new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get into trouble. Try things.
Exactly.
Don't do illegal
Yeah.
things. Says the
also,
explorer.
also do illegal things.
Yeah.
Like it's. And
Be careful what
yeah,
illegal
be careful,
things.
but I mean, I think you know what I mean. It's
Yeah.
like you need to make your experience.
Yes.
And,
like Arnold Schwarzenegger once said
when
it as
you
well.
think logically, illegal stuff, like don't hurt people, of course.
Yeah,
but
totally.
yeah,
If a sign says
fine.
don't come here, it's like, why
yeah.
not?
But yeah, I mean, that's life. Just explore it and
Yeah.
do things that you haven't done before and learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, man. Sip.
Yeah, I
That
think
was
we're
good.
going to.
I think that's a good end right here. It's been really interesting talking to you, like
Same.
as always. And yeah, we're doing it. Like we're doing life. This is what life should be.
Yeah.
Talking to people who have different experiences and were on different adventures. And
Yeah.
because this is how you learn. This is how you
All
should
right.
live life.
That's
Right.
awesome.
Nice.